It took the tactical genius of Enzo Maresca to exploit this Luis Enrique's PSG team. A feat that a lot of coaches such as Mikel Arteta, Pep Guardiola, Xavi Alonso, notable coach could not even do, just to mention a few. But then I want to talk about how Chelsea was able to beat PSG 3-0 in the first half. Something PSG just did in the semi-final against the Real Madrid team. This Chelsea team did not do anything spectacular. They just played to instruction. And I'm sure Enzo Maresca has sat down many times looking at this PSG team and looking at the possible way of exploiting them. We all know that PSG likes to transition from the midfield, and they are very happy keeping the ball in the middle of the park through players such as Vitinha, Fabian Ruiz, and João Neves. Then they use their fullbacks, talking about Nuno Mendes and Hakimi, to exploit opposition defense. And no team, no coach has been bold enough to use this strength of PSG, which can be their weakness as well, to exploit this PSG team. That was exactly the risk that Enzo Maresca took, and it paid off in the first half. Now, before you go to tell me why has so many coaches not taken this into account, and why has no coach taken the bold step to use this weakness, this PSG weakness against them, why is Enzo Maresca special and why did he do it? I want you to understand that this particular Luis Enrique's team has been together. They had to put out this squad together for almost close to 2 years. They even had to buy players such as Desire Doué, Kvaratskhelia, just to ensure that they have the right players to integrate into this team and have the kind of setup they want to have. They've been training for close to 2 seasons together, except for Kvaratskhelia that just joined the team recently, about 6 months ago, right? So it's been a very long time that PSG has been used to this formation, and to change it in less than 2 hours would feel almost impossible. Something that Chelsea and Enzo Maresca had to stay days to study as well. And most importantly, the PSG team and Luis Enrique and his coaching crew did not expect that anyone is going to exploit those weaknesses, let alone Enzo Maresca of Chelsea. This Chelsea team made this PSG team look very mediocre. They had no shot on target. In fact, Vitinha tried to play, and Chelsea were very happy to allow PSG to play in their own half. But the moment they came into their half, they suffocated them and just hit them on the counter through Pedro Neto, João Pedro, and Cole Palmer. Nuno Mendes, that cooked players such as Saka, Mo Salah all day long, cooked a lot of players that he played against, felt very average against Malo Gusto. I don't want to even call Cole Palmer. Look at how Malo Gusto was able to win that ball off of Nuno Mendes to give them the second goal. Cole Palmer had one of the best performances I've seen him had in a very long time. He turned up for this Chelsea team when they needed him the most. If you're talking about how a player should turn up for a team, a number 10, a playmaker, there you have it. Palmer did not just win the superior player of the match, he won the player of the tournament, and now he has won the FIFA Club World Cup. What more can you ask from one of the best and creative players in the Chelsea team? Overall, it was a very superb, monstrous performance, a statement of intent from this Chelsea team. Before you come to my DM and tell me, I don't tell you before, say we'll go win. Make Chelsea fan no make mouth too. Like I said, there was nothing spectacular about what Chelsea did in terms of how the player played. It was down to Enzo Maresca. Enzo Maresca won this final for this Chelsea team because he took a very bold step. He took a lot of risks to ensure that he had a projection as to how to beat this PSG team, and it paid off. It's not as if the Chelsea players had 1v1s or they had to do some take-ons that led to goal. But no, they just exploited the space left, especially by Nuno Mendes, because everybody that has played against PSG, for every fanatic that have watched this PSG team play, they like to leave spaces behind Nuno Mendes and Hakimi, because their pattern of play in the way they transition have to do with this wing back flying up and down the flank from the left to the right, and that was exactly what Chelsea did. Cole Palmer and Pedro Neto were there to exploit those spaces, and that is why it was very easy for this Chelsea to decimate this PSG team 3-0 in the first half. And you're wondering, why did Xavi Alonso did not do this? Like I said in my previous video, I don't really get too much respect for Enzo Maresca. But I was looking at that game. A lot of persons were very happy about the scoreline. A lot of Chelsea fans are happy that they won the Club World Cup. But I, personally, I watched for that man. Now, the tactical genius of Enzo Maresca and the boldness that he had to attack this PSG team and beat them in their own game. He used their own style and their own game and their pattern to beat them. So it means that Chelsea had to go 101% to outdo this PSG team, and it was very simple in the way they made it look. It was a very difficult formation to play because it demanded a lot of energy, marking ability to transition back and forth and to be behind the ball. I mean, all the Chelsea 11 players to be behind the ball and try to push this PSG team out of their half, of course. But then you could see players like Reece James that played in the midfield looking very tired. You could see Caicedo looking very burnt out. You could see Enzo Fernandez looking very tired. That's to tell you how much they had to be compact in the midfield. And talking about this formation and these players, immediately some Chelsea faithful where I went to watch this match, saw the formation. They were crying about the fact that Enzo Maresca had already gifted this title to PSG. This team surprised a lot of persons in the entire football world yesterday. Even though now Trump said we know they watch ball, say they surprised. Saying go follow Chelsea celebrate. I watched this match at a viewing center, and there's some very funny moments that I saw in the halftime talking about how confident the Chelsea fans were that they were going to beat PSG when they went 3-up in the first half. I want you to enjoy this video and let me know your thoughts. I'll see you in the next video, but until then, stay blessed.